Valar Mitchell stood frozen, disbelief etched across her face as her dream wedding gown, an exquisite piece of ivory satin she had tirelessly perfected over 6 long months, succumbed to flames. The source of this fiery destruction stood right before her in the lavish bridal suite of Cleveland's Grand Pavilion. Margaret Wilson, her soon to be mother in law, with a lighter still clutched in her manicured hand and triumph twisted around her features, Margaret declared in a high pitched hysteria, "Now you can't marry my son." Margaret raised the stakes with a smug air, tossing her designer purse over her shoulder. "Jason needs someone from our social circle, not some nobody from your side of town." Valor felt a new surprising calm as she reached for her phone. "Mrs. Wilson," she said, keeping her voice firm, "you have no idea what you just did." Margaret's laughter was as brittle and sharp as glass. "What I did, Valor, is save Jason from the biggest mistake of his life. You think your community college diploma and a job at some local ad agency make you suitable for him?" Margaret threw Jason's name with the pristine Melissa Hammond into the mix, knowing full well that the Hammond patriarch owned half of downtown Cleveland, making her point crystal clear. Valor pressed a button on her phone, meeting Margaret's eyes with steely determination as her bridesmaids, clad in lavender, hovered helplessly. Jessicama, the quick-thinking bridesmaid, opened a window, trying to appease the acrid smoke now filling the room. "The wedding's off," Margaret scoffed, waving her hand as if to dispel Valor as easily as the smoke. Her plan seemed neatly framed, confidently assuming Jason's incomprehension. "Eventually he'll understand." But Valor wasn't backing down so easily. With a steady motion, she turned her phone screen toward the older woman. Captured live on the towering screen at the wedding venue was Margaret in all her destructive, unsanctioned glory. What is that?" Margaret stammered, the color visibly draining from her face. Valor didn't miss a beat. "It's the wedding live stream for Jason's grandparents in Florida and my sister, who's serving overseas. It's been streaming everyone arriving for the last 20 minutes, and—" She paused, allowing the realization to crash hard upon Margaret. "Recording you torching my wedding dress." Margaret lunged clumsily for Valor's phone, her well-crafted composure unraveling, but Jessica swiftly intervened. "Mrs. Wilson, the whole world just watched you commit arson on live camera. Consider your next move very carefully." Valor's phone buzzed with an abrupt succession of messages. The latest was Tina's whisper, the urgency stark, "Jason's coming here." Margaret appeared like a cornered animal, searching for some escape path through the dense, metaphorical smoke she had ignited. "It's just not what it looks like. I was testing the fabric. Wedding dresses should be flame retardant." Margaret pleaded with an implausible, now echoing excuse. The sudden emergence of murmuring voices over the phone indicated a shift. A camera angle captured the live reactions of an audience, spellbound, lips whispering the unthinkable. Guests watched Jason sprinting, no longer just standing at the altar but tearing up the aisle, demeanor split with shock and barely contained fury. "Valor," her bridesmaid Melody inquired with weighted resolve, "should we send everyone home? Is this wedding still happening?" Valor's corporate-trained mind, always primed under fire, evaluated her options rapidly. "No," she declared, renewed clarity, fashioning determination fiercely on her lips. "The ceremony moves forward just differently." The door swung open, and there Jason stood, clad in his tuxedo, his expression swinging between shock and fierce determination. His gaze traced a path from the blackened remnants of the once glorious dress to his mother, the perpetrator standing guilty amongst the charred ruins. "Mom," his voice was dangerously quiet, as if each word were carefully released. "Tell me I didn't just see you burn Valor's wedding dress while saying she isn't good enough for our family." Margaret's voice morphed quickly. "Sweetheart, you don't understand. I was protecting you. Valerie's only been after your money since day one, testing her character," and Jason's hand flew up, halting her excuses. "Stop. Just stop. I heard everything." His eyes found Valor's, softening with an apology spoken without words. "Val, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she would." Valor moved closer, choosing her words slowly, deliberately. "It was just a dress, Jason, but now everyone knows how your mother truly feels about me, about us." Jason took her hands, the symbolic connection anchoring them both amidst the chaos. "What do you want to do?" "It's your call, Val." Before Valor could verbalize her intent, Mr. Wilson appeared, his face a canvas of stern disappointment. "Margaret, what on earth?" His voice carried a controlled edge previously unseen, echoed by a professional gravitas his son had never expected. "Oh, Richard," she stammered, her confidence ebbing swiftly. "You know the Hammonds are a much better match. The prestige, Richard, the stature of—" But their gratitude never wavered, her voice breaking off as Mr. Wilson shook his head gravely. "Far too far, this time, Margaret." Valor's phone vibrated with the continuous incoming tap tap of messages, with guests fervently trying to grasp at what was happening, their questions humming through the air. The venue coordinator hovered at the doorway, uncertainty pulling around her shoulders. Miss Mertz, Miss Mitchell, she ventured softly, the guests are growing concerned. Shall we make an announcement to ease? Not just yet. Valor's voice was decisive, slicing through any lingering hesitation. There's been a change of plans. Yes, but in just 20 minutes. Margaret scoffed, incredulous. In what? Your underwear. Your brazen obstinance can't mask reality, girl. Valor returned with effortless assurance. In my backup dress, she stated. The room paused in palpable disbelief, Jason equally mystified. Backup dress. Valor had no such dress ready, but it wasn't the first time she'd navigated unexpected terrain. Melody, do you recall the Cleveland Bride photo shoot last month? Can you reach Eliza, see if her sample dress is an option? Melody's recognition was immediate. The ivory sheath, lace overlay, perfect for you. Mr. Wilson stepped into action, dialing as his other hand fished his car keys from his pocket. We'll have it fetched immediately. As the rescue operation was coordinated, Valor faced Margaret, whose disbelief transformed into a hollow, burning disbelief of her unraveling plans. Quote, Did you think ruining my dress would halt everything? Valor's words carved the room with clarity. Everyone witnessed it, true. Yet now they'll see how we rise from this. She turned with purpose towards the still life camera, sure of an unseen audience. To all our guests, thank you for staying. We're merely delayed briefly, she declared genuinely, because love can't simply be burnt away. Cheering, loud even through the small device speaker, swept from the audience that had been summoned to view a wedding, not life catastrophe. You need to leave now. Jason's voice grew defiant with new strength against his mother. Dad will take you, and you're no longer invited to witness our reunion. Not after today. Margaret's fury transformed into an impotent ferocity that bounced aimlessly against Jason's unyielding resolve. The following minutes spun into a whirlwind of choreographed chaos. Margaret was ushered aside as the venue reverberated with focused determination, rebounding with something Margaret had aimed to destroy. Eliza, a godsend from Cleveland Bride, flew in with a selection embodying impromptu salvation, transforming the suite into a bustling hub of wedding rebirth. This, Jessica held up triumphantly, is the one, a masterpiece of lace and allure, fit to step into. Rooms filled with onlookers buzzed actively, while last-minute adjustments left a monumental impact. The venue seamstress worked miracles with safety pins and quick stitches, guided by the urging of those in the room whose collective energy was a testament to their belief in love and perseverance. Meanwhile, Jason headed back to the ceremony area to address their guests directly. The live stream, carefully oriented toward the altar, captured his earnest demeanor. Today hasn't unfolded as anyone expected, he admitted, voice steady and sincere despite the upheaval. But Valor and I have always believed in triumphing over imperfect beginnings to achieve lasting happiness together. Quote, applause rippled through the guests, a burst of solidarity that echoed through every corner. Melody put the finishing touches on Valor's borrowed veil, delivering an approval filled with genuine appreciation. You're nothing short of breathtaking, said Melody, stepping aside with tears forming at the edges. The dress hadn't been part of Valor's original vision, but in its simplicity and strength it suited her spirit perfectly entirely, like she was herself, steadfast, overcoming adversity rather than succumbing to it. Mr. Wilson entered, his expression softening as he laid eyes on Valor. You look absolutely stunning, he remarked, a mix of relief and pride hinting subtly beneath his words. I owe you an apology, Valerie. Margaret's actions were unforgivable, and you shouldn't have to bear that. Valor quickly reassured him. Your integrity is in question, Mr. Wilson. You didn't torch the dress. He gave a grateful nod before conveying Jason's readiness to proceed and adding, with a small smile, also your agency's boss is making rounds. He believes what happened today is primed for a viral campaign. Undoubtedly true to Eddie's foresight, which always saw opportunity even amid chaos. The venue coordinator reappeared. The musicians are at the ready, and the lighting has been tweaked to perfectly accompany your new dress. Miss Mitchell, she said encouragingly. Inspiration struck Valor. An idea was budding. Is the live stream ready? She inquired with newfound intent. Upon confirmation that it worked seamlessly, she requested, project our walk from the bridal suite to the ceremony, a testament of resilience.
taking the reins in a manner only gained through navigating her career's unpredictability. She ensured every moment would tell a greater story.
Within minutes, as Valor and her bridesmaids made their way through the venue's lush garden paths, their journey became integral to the narrative. Expectant guests watched as the procession progressed, not simply witnessing, but becoming part of a purpose and unyielding stand against attempted sabotage. Before stepping into the ceremony space, a chorus of applause met them, a joyful coalition anticipating love's undeterred resilience. There, just inside, waited Jason, eyes bright with love and anticipation. Ready to marry you, he voiced the words with a quiet reverence, drawing her hand into his. More ready than ever, Valor affirmed, entwining their fingers with resolute assurance. The ceremony unfolded with authenticity, each component infused with a newfound depth, a serene perfection born from chaos. Guests stood to applaud as Valor approached, buoyed into unity, shattering the notion of silence with exuberance and solidarity. The officiant Pastor Mitchell stepped forth, opening with improvised grace. Dearly beloved, he began, we are gathered here today to witness not just a wedding, but the victory of love over adversity. Valerie and Jason have met their first challenge as a couple and triumphed with grace, resilience, and unwavering devotion. Quote, as they reached their vows, Jason echoed fresh lines not found in rehearsals past. I promise to walk beside you against anything or anyone that attempts to come between us, even if those challenges are found within family, his voice sincere and unwavering as it extended to the back rows and beyond. When exchanging their rings, a momentary panic flitted across Jason's eyes. The rings had been in his mother's care amidst the earlier ceremony chaos. Mr. Earlier Wilson, quick to remedy potential oversight, produced the velvet ring box quietly, thought it wise to secure these, he spoke, reassuring Jason with careful diligence. With the pronouncement of husband and wife, their walk down the aisle to the swelling applause was the culmination of an emotional storm's clearing. As they stepped into the reception, Fowler and Jason were met by Eddie, film rolling discreetly, nodding with approval evident, you've pulled off the impossible. The ballroom was alive, transformed into a tableau of genuine connection, moving conversations replacing traditional formalities, fueled by vibrant validation, a celebration rooted beyond the superficial bounds Margaret had once cloaked their family with. The celebratory atmosphere carried on within the grand ballroom, where an air of defiance wove into the festivities, fueling a deeply emotional release that followed a day of unforeseen challenges. Guests who mingled seemed overcome not by mere tradition, but by the palpable sense of unity and resilience they shared in coming together as part of an unexpected tapestry. Nearby, Jessica caught Valor's attention with a timely notification. You've gone viral, she informed, eyes gleaming as screen shares fluttered past. Hashtags like #rising from the ashes and #can't burn love are trending everywhere. As excitement coursed through, Jason's college roommate and PR guru Tom approached amidst rising buzz, phone in hand. The Cleveland Plain Dealer wants a statement, he shared, a slight urgency lacing his tone. The lifestyle editor's niece being a wedding guest tipping the scales of interest. They're calling this Cleveland's most resilient wedding. Jason responded quickly, protective yet thankful. Let them know we're grateful and that true commitment gets stronger when tested before a backdrop of sincerity. Quote. Throughout the evening, Jason's father, Mr. Wilson, moved with inherent damage control expertise, speaking intently with family members where needed, complaints and whispers of past status quo shifting fluidly under the skilled soft power he employed. Jason's Aunt Diane caught up with Valor to share earnest words, an almost secretive fashion in which her voice threaded the tendrils of familial adaptation. Richard is beside himself, she confided, hoping to assure rather than incite anxiety. Margaret has been asked to leave discreetly after all, but she is putting Jason's place in the family business in jeopardy. Quote, Jason quotes, grip on Valor's hand tightened beneath the table, a gentle yet firm assurance making its place known. Dad's the backbone here, Jason shared, his voice colored with the insights that came from clarity and love. Mom thought herself the conductor because he always let her to keep the balance, I suppose. As the first dance pulled them to center stage, the glowing absence of privilege displaced by authentic love, eyes were upon them not with pity but with warmth, solidarity filling voids, transforming the venue. Mr. Wilson, unanticipated ally and the evening's unsung hero, wove narratives to guests of authentic warmth, his steadfast diplomacy steadying anew in the light of day's bold truths. Eddie signaled Valor and Jason over with champagne, his expression blending professionalism with glee. Thanking guests personally, working his way through Margaret's known circle effectively, Eddie remarked, largely well done, brave even. Jason nodded contemplatively. First time seeing him stand firmly, defiantly. In their charming dance, Jason murmured, "For years I witnessed his quiet resolve, but tonight is the first time his voice clearly unfolded." Margaret's verifiable presence, while undenied, resonated in less favorable sentiment. Decisions ripple outward, traction found in the encompassing support, authenticity reaching beyond small league maneuvers. Their professional photographer approached, assessing the honesty of capturing such pivotal content. Photos proliferate beyond controlled circles. Is privacy your goal or truth telling? Jason and Valor, after a shared glance, found common conviction vocalized. Honesty is now our pathway forward. Part of our story has become part of theirs. The short video clip on Margaret's incendiary coup had amassed considerable traction in Cleveland's local news and social media pages, melding narrative and community perception, challenging bride conundrums, ignite collective discourse. Viewed over 20,000 times already, comments swelled with empathy, interlaced tales revealing similar plights. Quote, "This isn't where it diminishes," Eddie commented, finger scrolling with determination beyond his roving eyes. Standing with unyielding resolve in family dynamics utterly resonates as he perused distant familial relations. New alliances within Jason's circle formed. Jason's cousin Mia arrived with earnest conviction and degree meant to rectify connections, hoping to shift her family's trajectory. Not everyone buys into Margaret's play. Know this much, she asserted clearly. Quote, "Tremendous to hear your insights align ours, Mia," Valor replied, a blend of sincerity and hope mingling about them. As the reception trod through the night, Jason received a text warning of yet more unresolved family dramas, one clear but expected given the volatile dance his family affair. Margaret locked herself away, intent inevitable words to cut off connections. Using penance time, her narrative defied boldly counterpointed. Reading aloud, Jason chuckled lightly, realizing distance, poignant clarity. She retreated but expects terms, difficult navigation, unavoidable. Valor guided his response with unanimous heart, emphasizing conviction. Whatever comes from your family, we remain here facing them, like today. Jason's smile broadened, a mark of dynamic changes, interpersonal, intimate, and profound. "Glad you are," he returned, holding to her hands, confirming unspoken resilience. As everything unfurled, that continued draft, unwind and turning of fortunes, new openness saw traditionally cordial barriers dissolved, changed into family spirit by real appreciation. Freed of Margaret's constraining oversight, guests whom former silence shadowed freely conversed, engaging genuinely. The venue manager presented a spontaneous, heartwarming processional, a guest board glowing with messages, wishes voiced, inspired by tribulation, prominent displayed on an easel. A montage of hopes penned with meaning throughout Valor and Jason's day featured sentiments of love, built-in moments shared, a testament witnessing efficacy of renewed discovery, a symbol, wire Mr. Lee a moment. Mr. Wilson's proud accomplishment, a signature event influenced dramatically beyond imagined scope, awaited sharing outreach laced deeper with care, wishing fulfilled marked change, affirmation poignant met joy resounding, where once rejection reigned, evident linger. 1 week into their honeymoon in the Maldives, Valère and Jason remained enveloped by the sheer beauty surrounding them. The tranquil atmosphere over crystal blue waters offered a perfect contrast to the previous week's chaos. Sitting on their private deck, the couple scrolled through their phones, catching up with reality through daily updates. "Dad says Mom is still staying with her sister in Cincinnati," Jason shared, setting his phone down momentarily. "Only Aunt Linda believes her version that she was testing dress fabric." Quote Valor smiled wryly, the sun hat providing minimal shade, yet enhancing her mirth. Hard to misinterpret someone yelling, "Now you can't marry my son," while holding a lighter, isn't it? She mused aloud. Across Cleveland, their wedding story increasingly drew attention at unprecedented levels. It wasn't simply sensational at a local level, but encouraged broader conversations about complex family dynamics, valuing the strength found in partnerships. The Cleveland media took a keen interest in the story, elevating it to a higher platform. Discussions emerged that broached topics such as maintaining healthy relationships, reinforcing boundaries, and standing up against challenging familial circumstances. Several women's magazines reached out, eager to interview Valère on how best to maintain personal and relationship boundaries, highlighting their authentic approach towards family opposition. Meanwhile, Eddie relayed news of rising interest back at the office, the agency's buzzing with new inquiries. He reported, "Our clients called specifically for the team involving the wedding dress Phoenix. They're eyeing a compelling narrative, lauding team-building resilience as commendable." Jason chuckled, showing Valor the message floating triumphantly across his screen. "Eddie even proposes involving us in a panel on crisis management later this year." With Jason's touch warm over her wedding band, he continued softly, "Only if you're comfortable with that, Valor. We don't need to turn our new beginnings into public spectacles unless you're ready." Quote. Considering responses that resonated both with couples and individuals alike, Valor reflected thoughtfully aloud. "Perhaps our story could benefit others confronting difficult family members. With resolve," she continued, "not what I envision starting married life on, but it underscores our authenticity." His smile broadening through inspiration's clarity, Jason completed her thought, "Just like us." Within 3 months post-wedding, they stepped into the milieu of Cleveland's gala circuit, an event marking the Wilson Family Foundation's annual gala, signifying their first substantial public appearance following their honeymoon. The car pulled up beside the Cleveland Art Museum. Nerves fluttered gently through Valor, although Jason leaned close in a gesture that calmed her thoughts. "Nervous at all?" he inquired coolly, the bond they shared strengthening through sincerity observed in their seamless communication. "A little," she conceded quietly, smoothing the folds of her gown, an emerald masterpiece equating resilience crafted by Eliza's fashion boutique. Inside the museum, the atmosphere perceptibly shifted, reflective of newfound warmth replacing previous formality. There within, Mr. Wilson greeted compatriots, diffusing clarity, purpose reinvigorated, freed from Margaret's historically enforced constraints. "Here they are," he beamed with pride and new vitality, embracing his family fully, the couple that inspired this year's new initiative. In captivating display, rising Phoenix grants framed elegantly adorned walls, a program fostering hope and fresh starts for women navigating significant life transitions. The Foundation's logo, subtly reimagined, mirrored their transformative journey undertaken. Already assisting 17 recipients, Mr. Wilson expressed proudly, funding 15 more this year, witnessing formidable rebirth just like Valor and Jason. The room filled with genuine attendees passionate about making American society equitable mirrored the Wilsons' journey of empathy and altered futures, exuding familiarity, youthful and welcoming. Guests, once marginal manifestations of civility, embodied gracious connections of sincerity, underscoring themes of personal growth and understanding. Nearing the event's finale, a young woman approached them, an illuminated transformation palpable. "Hi," she introduced modestly. "This grant helped me leave a toxic relationship. Now I'm starting my business." Valor's eyes welled, emotions swirling, providing heartfelt words. "Your strength amazes me. An honor meeting you." As Jason and Valor privately reflected on further aspirations, a text message appeared. Jason, however, remained composed as ever. "Mom's returning soon," he updated, shoulders lifting both acceptance and forgiveness. "Dad shares optimism, offers joining counseling, maybe reconciliation possible. No matter the outcome, we advance together, like always," Valor assured, gentle grip of support extending reassurance. Drawing her into an embrace reflective of shared momentum, unyielding against an intricate past, their journey was continuous yet robust, inevitable progress with undiminished vibrancy, ever forward as one.